And today we're also getting a unique look inside the courtroom for the Manson family trial, illustrated by the legendary man who had the front row seat for the whole thing, Bill Robles, who is now here with me. So glad to have you. Thank you so much. Great, good to see you. One of the things that I was talking about right before we came on is the moment that you saw Manson. What was that like the first time you walked in that courtroom as a young man and you saw him sitting there?
Mind you, I'd never set foot in a courtroom in my lifetime. All of a sudden, I'm thrust into this thing with working for CBS News as a freelance guy. Thrust into this worldwide first major
huge
media trial.
Yeah, right.
It was unbelievable. I didn't know what to expect, and everybody couldn't wait to look at Manson, and I looked at him, and whoa! I said,
when you see a subject like that, what's the first, like when you put the pen to paper, maybe show us this one here, what goes through your mind? I mean, how do you start drawing this guy? Is it you start
first
with the face,
of all,
or?
he's a pretty interesting figure to do with the long hair and the beard. I mean, you can't mess with that.
Right.
I mean, he was totally very interesting to do. He went through major changes from a 50s look into a shaved head to a goatee look. I mean, various changes, which kept it interesting. So,
did he ever make eye contact with you? Did he know?
I did a couple times.
Wow.
He outstared me, however.
Oh, I'm sure.
He
knew that you were drawing it.
Oh yeah. Actually, one time, I had my markers. Let's see.
Right here. Yeah. And these are the Manson family members here.
Yeah.
Right. And this is after they shaved their heads.
Right, this is later on. They did whatever he did.
Right.
They even carved in X's, as did Manson, but Manson eventually turned his into a swastika. But I had my markers set up, let's see.
And the physical changes that you saw over the course of the trial, was it so dramatic that you could sketch it? Like the changes.
Well, there was the instance where he leaped at the judge.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I definitely want to get to that picture. That's one of the most iconic sketches that you had for that moment.
That drawing actually led the story on the Walter Cronkite CBS Evening News.
Yeah, and we have it up on the screen right there.
Yeah.
So in that moment, did you leap out of your seat? What went through your mind?
Everybody was stunned. It was kind of quiet testimony going on. All of a sudden, Manson yelled, "Somebody ought to cut your head off, old man."
And he was talking to the judge.
To the judge. He had the pencil in his hand like a knife. Yeah. Got up and took a dive toward the judge, and the bailiff tackled him in midair.
Wow. And did the judge flinch, or did the judge sit still?
Well, he was startled, but who looked at the judge,
Yeah, totally.
It just happened in an instant. So what we had to do was freeze that moment and recreate it.
And how do you freeze that?
Well, that's where your artistic talent comes in,
right.
So I literally looked at it almost as a silhouette as to what happened, and then there were 7 artists at that trial.
Wow.
Each TV station had their own artist. So I just started working, tackling, before I knew it evolved into this. Every artist had a different interpretation, but mine happened to be what you saw.
In the photo, or the sketch that you just showed me there of some of the Manson family members.
This one.
Yeah. Who were these 3 in this particular sketch?
This is Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten, and Manson with a shaved head.
Was that him looking back at them?
He was kind of just looking out. Yeah.
What was that energy like? Was it surreal? How would you describe it?
You get used to anything, It was surreal when I first got there, but once you get caught up in that whole atmosphere, you're part of the scene, Yeah. So it became routine to me.
And what about the women? Did they interact with you at all, or did they kind of ignore you?
When the trial first started, the girls were so close to me that I could literally touch them, and all they did was gossip the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Could you hear what they were saying?
Initially a few words, but then they moved them further away.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And were they ever trying to interact with Manson himself?
Yeah, they would glance. Yeah, obviously they communicated some way because he used to orchestrate whatever demonstrations they would come up. They would stand up and start singing, and there's some shots of them with the shaved heads. with
And
the judge looking on.
Yeah, and you were there for the verdict.
9.5 months I was there, plus jury selection.
Wow. What was the energy on the day that the verdicts were read? What was that?
You know, I can't really recall that.
Yeah. Do you recall his reaction or any of the family members' reaction?
I don't think anybody that I recall reacted in any physical way.
There was no gasping
that I remember. Yeah.
When you see, when you look back, I know this is outside the world of sketching, but when you look back or see even interviews with Sharon Tate's sister or the other family members of victims, do you feel a special connection to them because of the work that you did, you know, being so intimately involved with the trial?
Well, it brings back the memories, but I mean, it seems like yesterday, and here it is 50 years. Yeah.
It's crazy. 50 years. And to think somebody was capable of such evil, do you think when you were drawing that, was there a certain way you had to capture that, or how would you describe that part of it?
It described itself just in the physical appearance of Manson. You know, I mean, it said it all.
Yeah.
No matter full hair and beard or shaven, he still had that sinister look.
Wow. The legendary Bill Robles, still sketching trials, right?
Still doing it.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
I just met you at the academic cheating scandal trial. I saw
That's
you.
right.
Yeah, you're drawing that.
That's
as well.
right.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And tonight at 10 on CBSN Los Angeles, we'll hear from Manson prosecutor Stephen Kay about one of the unsolved Manson cases, the mysterious disappearance of a defense attorney during the murder trial.